The Tetragrammaton of 4 letters is the Hebrew theonym, commonly transliterated into Latin letters as YHWH. It is one of the names of the national god of the Israelites used in the Hebrew Bible. Yahweh is the pronunciation most widely accepted by Hebrew scholars. The name may be derived from a verb that means to be, exist, to cause, to become, or come to pass. The books of the Torah and the rest of the Hebrew Bible contain the Hebrew word. Religiously observant Jews and those who follow conservative Jewish traditions do not pronounce either aloud or to themselves in silence, nor do they read aloud transliterated forms such as Yahweh or Yahuwah. Instead, the word is substituted with a different term, whether used to address or to refer to the God of Israel. Common substitutions for Hebrew forms are HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Adonai, or Hashem. Origins. Etymology. The letters, properly read from right to left, are. The name YHWH is probably derived from the Hebrew triconsonantal root, to be, become, come to pass, with a third-person masculine Y prefix, equivalent to English he. It is connected to the passage in Exodus chapter 3 verse 14 in which God gives his name as, where the verb, translated most basically as, I am that I am, or, I shall be what I shall be, I shall be what I am, or, I will become what I choose to become, I will become whatsoever I please. With the vocalization, Yahweh could theoretically be a Hifi verb inflection of root HWH, with a meaning something like he who causes to exist, or who gives life. As a Kal verb inflection, it could mean he who is, who exists. Pronunciation. The most widely accepted pronunciation of the Tetragrammaton is Yahweh. Jani Bradas suggested the pronunciation Jav based on Theodore Ray's assertion that the Samaritans used the pronunciation Iabe. For most Jews, however, it was forbidden to pronounce or even write in full the Tetragrammaton. The current scholarly consensus is that the vowel diacritic points attached to the written consonants YHWH in the Masoretic orthography of Biblical Hebrew were not intended to represent the vowels of such an authentic and historically correct pronunciation. Tiberian's vocalization vowel points. The original consonantal text of the Hebrew Bible was, several centuries later, provided with vowel marks by the Masortes to assist reading. In places where the consonants of the text to be read differed from the consonants of the written text, they wrote the kira in the margin as a note showing what was to be read. In such a case, the vowels of the kira were written on the kethub. For a few frequent words the marginal note was omitted. This is called qre perpetuum. One of these frequent cases was the Tetragrammaton, which according to later Jewish practices should not be pronounced but read as Adonai, or, if the previous or next word already was Adonai, or Adoni, as Elohim. This combination produces and respectively, non-words that would spell Jehovah, and Jehovah, respectively. The oldest complete or nearly complete manuscripts of the Masoretic text Hebrew Bible with Tiberian's vocalization, such as the Aleppo Codex and the Codex Leningradensis, both of the 10th or 11th century CE, mostly write with no pointing on the first H. This could be because the O diacritic point plays no useful role in distinguishing between Adonai and Elohim, or could point to the kira being Shema, which is Aramaic for the name. Consonantal semi-vowels in ancient Hebrew, the letter, known to modern Hebrew speakers as Vav, was a semi-vowel, with rather than a, v. The letter is referred to as WAW in the academic world, and accordingly is represented in English academic texts as YHWH. In unpointed Biblical Hebrew, most vowels are not written and the rest are written only ambiguously, as the vowel letters are also used as consonants. See matrolexionized for details. For similar reasons, An appearance of the Tetragrammaton in ancient Egyptian records of the 13th century BCE sheds no light on the original pronunciation. Therefore, it is, in general, difficult to deduce how a word is pronounced from its spelling only, and the Tetragrammaton is a particular example. 2 of its letters can serve as vowels, and 2 are vocalic placeholders, which are not pronounced. Thus, first-century Jewish historian and philosopher Josephus said that the sacred name of God consists of 4 vowels. This difficulty occurs somewhat also in Greek when transcribing Hebrew words, because of Greek's lack of a letter for consonant y, and of a letter for w, forcing the Hebrew consonants yod and waw to be transcribed into Greek as vowels. Also, non-initial h caused difficulty for Greeks and was liable to be omitted. Chi was pronounced as k plus h, and could not be used to represent h, as in modern Greek chi alpha rho rho iota equals Harry. For example, Adonai. The vocalizations of an are not identical. The schwa in yhwh and the hative patic in dny appear different. The vocalization can be attributed to biblical Hebrew phonology, where the hative patic is grammatically identical to a schwa, always replacing every schwa na under a guttural letter, since the first letter of is a guttural letter, while the first letter of is not. The hative patic under the aleph reverts to a regular schwa under the yod. The table below considers the vowel points for and, respectively. Note in the table directly above that simple shewa in Yahweh and the hative pater in Adonai are not the same vowel. The same information is displayed in the table above and to the right, where yhwh intended to be pronounced as Adonai, and Adonai, with its slightly different vowel points, are shown to have different vowel points. Jehovah, Dihove, is a Latinization of the Hebrew, a vocalization of the Tetragrammaton. Most scholars believe Jehovah to be a late hybrid form derived by combining the Latin letters JHVH with the vowels of Adonai, but there is some evidence that it may already have been in use in late antiquity. Jehovah was popularized in the English-speaking world by William Tyndale and other pioneer English Protestant translations such as the Geneva Bible and the King James Version, and is still used in the New World Translation. But it is no longer used in most mainstream English translations, with Lord or Lord usually used instead, generally indicating that the corresponding Hebrew is YHWH or Yahweh. Yahweh. The Hebrew scholar Wilhelm Gesenius (1786–1842) suggested that the Hebrew punctuation, which is transliterated into English as YHWEH, might more accurately represent the pronunciation of the Tetragrammaton than the biblical Hebrew punctuation, from which the English name Jehovah has been derived. His proposal to read YHWHs was based in large part on various Greek transcriptions, such as iota, alpha, beta, epsilon, dating from the 1st centuries CE, but also on the forms of thephoric names. In his Hebrew dictionary, Gesenius supports Yahweh because of the Samaritan pronunciation iota, alpha, beta, epsilon reported by Theodoret, and that the thephoric name prefixes YHW, Jeho, and YH, Jo, can be explained from the form Yahweh. Today many scholars accept Gesenius's proposal to read YHWHs. Gesenius' proposal gradually became accepted as the best scholarly reconstructed vocalized Hebrew spelling of the Tetragrammaton. Theophoric names Yeho or Yeho is the prefix form of YHWH used in Hebrew theophoric names. The suffix form Yahu or Yehu is just as common. This has caused 2 opinions. In former times, the prefix pronunciation, Yeho, was sometimes connected with the full pronunciation, Jehovah, derived from combining the Masoretic vowel points for Adonai, with the consonantal Tetragrammaton YHWH. Recently that, as, Yahweh, is likely an imperfective verb form, Yahoo is its corresponding preterite or justive short form. Compare Yistahora, Yistahu equals duobeisance. Those who argue for argument 1 above are George Wesley Buchanan in Biblical Archaeology Review, Smith's 1863 A Dictionary of the Bible, section #2.1 The Analytical Hebrew and Chaldee Lexicon. In its article, the second argument is supported on grammatical grounds, because shortening to YAHW would end up as Yahoo or similar, and forms like Yo contracted from Yeho and the suffix "ar", as well as Yeho or Yo, can most readily be explained as derivatives of Yahweh rather than from Jehovah.